Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Good morning. We are going to start the Sunday service. Today, the Dhamma speaker is Venerable Chandasara. We will practice a little bit of metta meditation before the talk. Take a time to relax yourself. Breathe in and breathe out. Be seated in a comfortable position. It could be on a chair, on your bed, leaning against the wall. Relax yourself. Only if you are comfortable, close your eyes. Take a deep breath and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Allow yourself to be relaxed like this. Experience the bliss of silence. You may hear different sounds, a lot of sounds in and around where you are seated. Relax yourself. Now we are going to practice the metta meditation. For that, we are going to use the metta thoughts in the IBMC chanting book. May I be well and happy, peaceful and free from suffering. May no harm come to me. May no difficulties come to me. May no problems come to me. May I always find fulfillment. May I have patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome the inevitable difficulties, problems, and failures in life. Spread loving kindness thoughts to your parents, Dharma teachers, friends, may my teachers and all Dharma teachers, parents, brothers and sisters, friends and relatives, all those who are indifferent to me, all beings in the universe, be well and happy, peaceful and free from suffering. May no harm come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May no problems come to them. May they always find fulfillment. May they also have patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome the inevitable difficulties, problems, and failures in life. May all beings in the universe be well, happy, and peaceful. Like this, again and again, you can practice these metta meditation thoughts. Start practicing the metta thoughts to yourself and towards all beings in the universe. You can stop meditation just for now when you hear the bell sound. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now it's time for the Sunday service Dhamma Talk. Today the speaker is our Venerable Chandasara. He has been a resident monk in this temple for a long time, for almost 5 years. And he did his first degree, BA degree in Sri Lanka. And he got his MA degree from Hong Kong University. And now he is reading for his PhD degree in the University of the West in Rosemead. So he has been helpful to this temple in many ways. Today, he will give you the Dhamma Talk. So after Dhamma Talk, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask your questions. Maybe you are having any comments and thoughts. Please feel free to share it with the audience. Towards the end of the Dhamma Talk, I have few announcements. And now it's time for the Dhamma Talk. Chandasara.
Thank you so much, Venerable Panyaloga, for your brief introduction. Good morning to the audience. First, I'm paying homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. And I'm reciting 2 verses from the Jatila Sutta, Samyutta Nikaya. Na vanna rupena naro sujano na vissase ittara dasanena susanyatanang hi vyanjanena asanyata loka mimang charanti patirupako mattika kundalocha loha dhamma sova suvanna channo charanti eke parivara channa anto asuddha bahi sobamanati. Again, good morning to the audience. I'm going to give them a talk based on these 2 verses. And with that, I'm thinking I'm obliged to, I have a responsibility to send my good thoughts to one of my great teachers who passed away last week. And I'm going to give a brief introduction about him because of him, my growth in education, as well as materially, I would say physically, because of him. So I have responsibility to transfer merits, whatever good I have done in my life, for his prosperous journey. I don't know if I can share his picture. Let me shoot. Can you allow me to share his picture? That way. Thank you. Can you see? Yes. Okay, thank you. So this is him. He's a Venerable Chandramani. He is origin Myanmar as well, but he was brought up in Bangladesh. So, but he lived most of his life in Sri Lanka. He received education, and then he was the vice abbot of the Sri Ratna Vihara in Sri Lanka. Vice abbot. He spent a lot of time. Most of his time serving the villagers, to the Buddhist community, and other people also, other communities. And this is the reason, because of his demise, Venerable Shanti, he went to Sri Lanka very immediately, because he is Venerable Shanti's monastic brother. Monk, that's why Venerable Shanti, because Venerable Shanti is the abbot of the temple, and that's why he went there to look after, to all the activities, whatever should be done. So I know a little bit about history, how this venerable became the vice abbot of the temple. And I would say I went to Sri Lanka in 2003, and I stayed in the temple until 2018, more than 15 years. I received my education under him, and he supported me, food, lodging, medication, education, everything. He took responsibility of my mother and my father, because it's very difficult for individual to grow up without parents. But he was kind of replaced my parents, and he supported me a lot. For instance, when I went to a monastic school in Sri Lanka with other monastic brothers, there were about like 5 or 6 monastic brothers with me. He had hired a 3-wheeler. In Sri Lanka, we used to travel in 3-wheeler. That's the transport we usually take. He always hired 3-wheeler for us to send to the school and to bring from the school. So he was not that rich. He didn't have that kind of much abilities, but he did as much as he could. So, and he genuinely supported us, but he did not want us, to support him back. That is the good of him. That is the virtue of him. So for him, wherever we go, either we remain a monk or even we disrobe, it doesn't matter for him. His wish is wherever you go, you have the Dhamma, you practice the Dhamma. It doesn't matter if you remain monk forever or if you want to be lay person, it doesn't matter. As long as you lead a good life, that's good enough. And you don't have to come back to look after me. That's what that's what he had, in his mind. And also, whenever he could, whenever I needed support, he helped me a lot. So, and also, within those 15 years, I saw a lot of development in the temple, Sri Ratna Vihara. He erected several statues, Buddha statues, and renovated buildings, new buildings. And also day and night, in Sri Lanka, it's we serve people day and night. We serve the people from the time, even before they conceive in the mother's womb, we serve them until their final rites and rituals. There's when someone, like when a child got scared at night, had a nightmare, they rush to the temple. At the night, they knock the door, knock the gate, asking her for the monks to come to their house and chant the suttas to bless them. So many occasions we were invited, and we are working like a 24/7. So that much service is provided to the villagers, and I saw during the funeral ceremony how people respected him. Hundreds of people, they gathered, they decorated all the funeral services, everything, and they collected money, everything to to beautifully celebrate the last moment of Venerable Chandramani. So I will say he was a genuine teacher who always well-wished, and he did not have fake cry. That's good virtue of him. And he didn't think like, he was always careful not to fall into victim, like, misusing his students. There's a good virtue of him. So, but in the final moment, even in this moment, how much he supported me, I feel like kind of unfortunate that I could not go to see him before he passed away, because he had a heart surgery before like 4 or 5 months, I guess. I can't remember exactly. He was very weak before he passed away, but I wanted to go, but I didn't I couldn't go because of my visa status. Else, even at his death, I could not participate his funeral. The reason is my visa status. Although I wanted to go, but I could not go. But I have always great, like good wish for him, for his beautiful, pleasant future rebirth. Yeah, most often I see like people are wishing him Nibbana. I don't think we can wish somebody Nibbana. That is our own personal activities, our own personal strength. We have to try our own Nibbana. But we can wish like, may he have good thoughts and the thoughts to achieve Nibbana himself. That way we can wish him. But I'm wishing may he be born in a future, better, pleasant life, and to do more service until he's attained to service to the people, until he attained the Nibbana. So on the other hand, I'm also like feel a little bit sad because I have been in a states from 2019, from 2019 until now. I don't have PR, and there's a reason. If I go back, I have to come back here. I have to come here again. I have to go for the interview process. Before I enter to the state, I have to go to the High Commission to face the interview again. So it's a very troublesome for me. And usually, like if you stay as a residence monk, like for 1 or 2 years under religious visa or whatever, the temple is supporting, like for the PR. But in my case, I still don't have that. I don't know how long I have to provide service to for the IBMC to support me for the to sponsor me for the permanent residence. And also, I have been like providing services like religious services, and also like other like cleaning everything. And also there are like sometimes there are occasions like I felt very helpless, because like one occasion I had I was coughing along like more than 1 month, and I feel very helpless because I don't have medical. So it's kind of uncomfortable, but I don't know like so anyway, that's my I feel a little bit unfortunate because I could not attend his funeral, but I have good thoughts until his last moment. I think like 3 weeks before his death, I talked to him like whenever I could. I like at least once a month or once 2 months. I talked to him and another senior monks in the temple. They too were very great teachers to me. Because of them, I'm here. Because of them, I could grow. I would say I could grow because I feel happy that what I have achieved in my life, perhaps not a material achievement, but kind of spiritual, and I could learn the Dhamma. So may this venerable, my teacher, Venerable Chandramuni, with the blessings of the Triple Gem, and with whatever I have done good in my life to myself and to the other people, in the name of the Dhamma, may he be born in a better, pleasant future life to serve to the humanity, and finally, may he have the thoughts to attain the Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So let me back to the, let me stop sharing, to the Dhamma that I focus on today. Na vanna rupena naro sujano na vissase itara dasanena susanyatanang hi vyanjanena asanyata lokamimam charanti. So, this verse says, individual a good individual cannot be identified with the outer appearance, and it's difficult to establish trust within a short period of time. Susanyatanang hi vyanjanena asanyata lokamimam charanti. Asanyata means untrained people live in the world. Susanyatanang hi vyanjanena in the form of well-trained. Untrained people live in the world or wander in the world in the form of well-trained. That's why it is very difficult to judge, see the good individual from their outer appearance, and we cannot establish trust within a short period of time because we need to associate a quite a long, maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years. And the next verse, it says, Patirupako Mattika Kundalocha Lohadamaso Suvanna Channo Charanti Eke Parivar Channa Anto Asuddha Bahi Subhamanati. Patirupako Mattika Kundalocha, like imitation earring made of clay. Lohadamasova Suvanna Channo, like the bronze coated with gold. Charanti Eke Parivar Channa. Some people walk, live, behave in this world, accompanied by retinues, followers. Anto Asuddha, impure inside, Bahi Sobhamanati, but shining, like acting like shining outside. So these Dhamma verses inspire me because of the story behind the scene. Behind these 2 verses, there is a story for the Buddha to preach these 2 verses. When we reflect from our lives, even I was reflecting yesterday night, like on these suttas, the teaching of the sutta, and these 2 verses, it's very touching. I'll focus a little bit about the story for the Buddha behind this, for the Buddha to happen to recite, I would say, teach this paean of joy. I would say paean of joy, because Buddha was telling the truth. He never tell lie, even to make people good. So he was very straightforward. The Buddha was very straightforward, and he tell truth. So one day, King Kosala was visiting the Buddha. When he was with the Buddha, he happened to see wanderers, other religious teachers, passing around that area, not so far from his meeting with the Buddha. So it says 7 Jains passing from close to the area, and 7 wanderers, Jatala means who have matted hair. They are like a they have the like a curly hair, kind of curly hair, but they're like matted hair. And also 7 Jains, 7 naked ascetics, they're all ascetics, and Ekasataka, and 7 other 7 religious followers. They're called Ekasataka because they have only one cloth, like a towel. There's their entire cloth. They wear only one cloth. That is like a towel. They wear only towel, naked upper side. And also Paribhajika, they are wanderers. They don't stay in one place. They stay in one place one time and then move to other places. And suddenly, when King Kosala noticed they're passing that close by that area, he approached to those ascetics, 7 Jains, seven wanderers, seven naked ascetics, all those people. And after meeting them, he came, he came back. He told the Buddha, "Oh, Venerable Sir, indeed, they are also the Arhants. They are also someone who have stepped into the part of the Arhantship. Arhant means enlightenment. They basically the King Kosala, he wanted to convince the Buddha that those ascetics are the real ascetics, and then they have attained enlightenment. But King Kosala know who those ascetics were actually, and Buddha told him directly. He says, "Oh King, you as a lay person leading a sensual pleasure life, you cannot exactly know who have attained the enlightenment or who have stepped into the path to the enlightenment." Buddha told King Kosala as a reply for what he said to the Buddha, that those ascetics were enlightened. And then Buddha went on and saying after that, "O King, there are four things we cannot know by a short association, by a quick association." Buddha said, "Samvasana ko Maharaja Silam Veditabam." The virtue of the person, individual, cannot be known without associating for a long time, maybe months, maybe years. It takes to understand the virtue, the sila, the precepts, how virtuous the person is, by glance, by immediate seeing. Sometimes we are like, we are kind of, I would say, lost to understand, like we are fall to it. Some people, they behave like very saint, and we feel like, wow, this person is amazing. He should be very calm and peaceful. He is indeed an enlightened person. But Buddha pointed him out, it is very difficult to know the virtue of the person without longer association. And the second point Buddha said, he said, he goes on saying, explaining this, say, within a short period of association, we cannot know the virtues of the person. And manasikarota, without having contemplation, without having, critical evaluation, I would say, without having contemplation, having, I would say, intuitive knowledge, we would not be able to understand the virtuous person, an individual. We have to be mindful in order to understand virtuous person. And panyavata no du panyana, the virtue of the person is understood only by the wise man, not the unwise person. And the next point is, the purification of the person should be understood by a longer association. I would say this is, so samvasana means is a kind of, living together. I would say living in the same residence, maybe in one room, as a monastic friend, monastic brothers, or like residents. We basically live very close by. That's why it says samvasana, because when we live together, we always see the person, how the person acts, how the person behaves, how the person deals with other people. That's how we know if the person is actually virtuous or not. Because at glance, by seeing only at once, immediately we cannot judge, oh, this person is very virtuous, or this person is not virtuous. We cannot judge like that. We need to live longer with that person to understand the reality. The second one, it says samvoharana. It's like associating, I would say, very close association, sharing problems and topics, like maybe some other type of topics, maybe topics related to the Dhamma usually. And, after long association, samvoharana, or dealing with, daily activities very closely, samvoharana, only by that time, we can understand the person is the purification of the person in words, in bodily action, in mental actions. It takes time. Buddha said, Digena tanchako digena adunana itarang. No, we cannot understand the purification of the person within a short period of time. It takes time. And the next one, the Buddha says, the striving effort should be understand only the effort of the person should be understand when a person faces great challenges, right? If the person do not face any great challenges, the effort cannot be tested. And also, it takes a long time to understand the effort of the person, to understand the effort that the person has great effort. It takes a long time. And also we have to be mindful to understand that. The last one, what is that? The last point, Buddha says, the wisdom of the person should be understood really only through discussion. The way the person answers to the questions, the way the person, react to the situation. When we discuss with the person, we only by the time for long, it takes a long time, only then we understand, oh, the person is wise. He has a great wisdom. Like, some teachers of other religions, people, how, we look at how they discuss with the Buddha during the time of the Buddha, and we understand how Buddha, like he profoundly and wisely discuss with other religious teachers. They were very amazed, to listen to the Buddha's teaching. So only through discussion we understand the person is very wise, the person has great wisdom. It takes a long time, and we have to be mindful, and also we have to be also wise in order to understand the person is wise. That is, we understand the wise person through sakachaya, through discussion, like a Dhamma discussion. Through discussion, we understand the person is wise or unwise. So these 4 points is relevant, I would say, to my life. I don't know about other people, how they reflect on themselves. But when I reflect, it's very true to my conscience. I feel that these 4 points, I will repeat. First one is the virtuous person. Second one is the purified deeds of the person, or purification of the person. And the third one is the effort. The last one is the wisdom. All those factors, great factors, should be understood only through, it takes time, and we have to be mindful, and we have to be wise. Otherwise, we would not be understand. By glance, we would be cheated, by outer appearance, we would misjudge the person, a virtuous person can be misjudged as not virtuous, and not virtuous person can be misjudged as virtuous if we judge at glance. So we have to, it takes time for us to understand. And then the miracle things is that, King Kosala, he admitted, Acharya Bhanta, wow, it is wonderful, venerable, it is wonderful, well said. It's very difficult for people like me who are leading sensual pleasure life, who has not attained any enlightenment, not even closer to the part of the enlightenment. It's very difficult for us to know whether the person is virtuous, whether the person is pure, whether the person has a great effort in the Dhamma, whether the person is wise. It's very difficult for people like us, Venerable. You well said, you say well. And he appreciated the Buddha. And then finally said, Venerable, actually those the religious teachers, the so-called religious teachers, 7 Jains, 7 Wanderers, 7 Naked Ascetics, they all are my spies. They all are my spies. They are my spy. They are my soldiers. Wherever I go, before I go, they are there. They go to the certain places, to the location, to see the the situation, to study the situation, to report to the king. Only that time, if the king feels safe, only that time he goes to that particular area, and that way he sends that kind of like spies disguised like a ascetics to other countries also for the espionage. So likewise, we can see now, the country leaders, they have so many security people, like before they go, they have so much securities. They go with the bodyguards. So nothing is strange, in the past. It happened in the past. It's in the present. It will be in the future. There's the situation. There is the nature. There is the practices. So, and King Kosala admitted that those individuals who are these guys, like those ascetics, they are my spies. They are my soldiers, and that's following this story. Buddha recited these 2 words that I recited in the beginning. That's why Buddha said, by appearance, we cannot know the good person. Sujano means good person, well person. And within a short period of time, we cannot establish trust. And because untrained people live in the world, wander in the world, disguised as well-trained people. And so I have, even from my life, I feel like, sometimes some people, they speak in front of the audience, they're like an enlightened, they're very calm, very good people in behavior. But when we start associating, like for months, for years, we come to know, like, wow, what the quite opposite, what the behavior the person is. Wow. So it's very strange. The world, that is the normal, that is the general. It's nothing strange, but we feel strange because when we start reflecting, but it's not a strange, because that is how the world goes on. We have different people, we have different personalities. So knowing this, we can save ourselves not to be fall into prey, by glance. And then also we can maintain our practice as much as we can amid such, fake people, fake promises, like outer behaviors. And what else? We have 10 more minutes. I don't know what to say again. I think I can stop here. If anybody wants to want any clarification, only with the teaching of the Buddha, we can have discussion, and even I can learn, more things from other people, because I'm also a student in the Buddha Dhamma. When I reflect myself, I'm still baby, I'm still learning. Because to be honest, I know the Dhamma, I would say to a level of I would say enough level, sufficient, not sufficient, but below the sufficient level. But my practice is lower than that, my knowledge, I'm still my knowledge is in balance with my practices, because my practices is lower than what I know the Dhamma. So I need to practice more and more in my life. That's how I reflect my life. And also these teachings of the Buddha are kind of reminding me, oh, please don't fall prey to so and so teachers, so and so people, popular maybe in the social media, maybe wherever. Just pay attention to the Dhamma and compare with the Dhamma, compare with the Vinaya. to compare and contrast, see if they're teaching the Dhamma. So I will end here. Thank you so much, everyone. If anybody has to share, thank you so much. Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you so much for giving this Dhamma talk, Venerable Chandasara. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask it from him. And maybe you have any comments or any thoughts. All is yours. Yes.
I want to thank you for your very, very beautiful talk today. You made your teacher come alive to us all. And I think that's a wonderful thing you did. And also, I think you're a great example of what a good teacher he was. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for.
Hello.
Thank you so much, Venerable, for your compliment, for your and I would say blessing. I really appreciate. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hi, Bante. This is Nam. I'm sorry about your loss. I wish he will attend to the bliss of Nibbana. And thank you for your talk today and your honor, your master. It's make me feel very to understand how you feel. Thank you very much, and very good talk today. I hope is somebody else who will have the some question and answer to so you can share. They can share with you. Thank you, Bante.
Thank you so much, Nam. You have been very wonderful congregate member at the IBMC. You're always blessing to us. You always bring food, supporting all the monastics here. So you are a wonderful soul. I would very appreciate every time. Not because you are bringing food, but you are a good person. If I say because you are bringing food, supporting the monks. I would be like, flattering, to get more and more, again from it. That's not the case, but understanding person, I say it takes a long time, but I associate with you. So you are a great soul to the IBMC. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Bante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Venerable Chandasara, I wanted to say something as well. Just because I of course was touched by the beginning when you were talking about your teacher, but I think also what you were saying in terms of truly getting the measure of someone, truly getting to know someone, that's the measure I believe in knowing who really is our Kalyanamita, our spiritual friends, our admirable friends. And not just in terms of our Dharma brothers, but like who our teachers are. And I suppose that in hearing your story was touched that there was someone who, at least in the way you were describing him, was one of those Kalyanamita for you, someone who was giving all those things to you. So I just want you to know just how I also see that admirable ability in you, the spiritual friend in you. So I do feel very honored to consider you one of my friends in the Dhamma. I have enjoyed the years we've gotten to know each other just a little bit. Hopefully we can know each other even more.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Subodha. I would also say you're a Kalyanamita. So I think we met a long time, right? In the university, right? It has been a long time, but we meet not often, but when we had university classes, we usually meet. So you're a Kalyanamita, I would say. Thank you so much for your great comment. Thank you.
Uh, yeah, thank you so much for your questions, your comments, and thoughts. I also have something to share with the audience about Venerable Chandamani, who passed away in Sri Lanka. And Bante Shanti, he has another temple in Sri Lanka, and it's just in the heart of Colombo, just close to the Colombo, the main city in Sri Lanka. And this monk, and as Venerable Chandasara said, he was originally from Bangladesh and Myanmar. He has the, that kind of an origin. But he lived his most of life in Sri Lanka, and he did a wonderful, a yeoman, splendid service to the Sri Lankan community, Sri Lankan temples. And yes, I have been to that temple many times when I was in Sri Lanka, and that's where my Dharma teacher is living. But the abbot of that temple is that Myanmar, Bangladesh monk, Venerable Chandamuni, who passed away, and he was the abbot. And every time I visited that temple, he welcomed me. He welcomed me, and he was so welcoming, not only for me, and he was really, really welcoming. And maybe Chandasara has so many things to say about him, but this is not the right time for it, because we have only a very short period of time to finish this Sunday service. Venerable Chandamuni, that Myanmar, Bangladesh monk, as I told you earlier, he did a great service to Sri Lankan temple, Sri Lankan community, Sri Lankan children also. His whole life was his temple. He sacrificed his whole life, his youth, his happiness, everything to the temple. And it's because of that reason, I think, since he did a wonderful service, I saw in the Facebook, someone was giving his, filming his final rites, and it was a live program. And I saw that there were a lot of people, thousands and thousands of people, to respect for him for the last time. So when I saw that, that huge gathering, I understood, like, it's because what he did for the Sri Lankan community and to the temple. Now Bante Shanti has a big responsibility, and it's not easy to run a temple. Though it is here in Sri Lanka, wherever it is, to run a temple, to maintain a temple, it's not easy. That's my experience. I have never been an abbot, but when I was in Sri Lanka, I have been an abbot just only for a couple of weeks. Sometimes when my teacher, my abbot, is not in the temple, so I know that it's not easy. Sometimes when my Dharma teacher, my abbot in Sri Lanka, when he is away from the temple, I have led the temple. I have led the temple for 2 weeks, maybe 1 month. So it's not easy. It's not easy. That's my experience. So he did a wonderful service, and our respect to him, our gratitude goes to him every time, whenever we remember. So every time I visited that temple, sometimes that monk, Venerable Chandamuni, he cooks good food, very delicious food, and he offered it to me sometimes when I go to the temple, and suppose if we have nothing to eat, he himself cooks the food, and he offered it to me, and he was so welcoming. Yes, and like this, I have got so many things to say, but this is not the right time for it. And Venerable Chandasara is missing him now, and we too miss him. And it's a great loss. It's a great loss for the Sri Lankan community. Bante Shanti and everyone there. And as a teacher, he took care of Venerable Chandasara. I remember when I met Venerable Chandasara, he was a very young monk, just like 10 or 11 years old. Yes, for the first time when I met him in a class in Sri Lanka, another monastic educational institute. He was in the class, so he was very young. So from that time, Bante Chandamuni, Venerable Chandamuni, he was the Dharma teacher who took care of Venerable Chandasara. I think it's because of his demise. He feels like he's so sad. And yeah, thank you so much for your Dharma talk, Venerable Chandasara. And now it's time for us to chant the, go for the chanting. And but before that, I have few announcements. I will share it with you towards the end of the chanting. Now we will chant the page 4 and page 10. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to save them all. Deluding passions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them all. Dharma gates are limitless. I vow to study them all. Buddha's way is supreme. I vow to attain it. May suffering ones be suffering free, and the fear-struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief, and the sick find health relief. Nenge du chonga kap unya nya idam chonga sangye ya pong ai pada Nenge chonga kap idam Dudung sangye jai pong tai padao. When ye do trong for chúng sang nghe jai con tai Phật. Om Mani Padme Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of this Sunday service. My special thanks goes to Venerable Chandasar again for giving this Dhamma talk. And at the same time, I should thank to Reverend Kashanti, Reverend Shraddha for coming and helping us to continue this Dhamma Sunday service. And as I say always, they are also two beautiful souls I have ever met in the US, and it's because of these people we continue this Sunday service, we continue this temple. And Stephen, Subodha, and our Nam, two Kalyana Mitras, they are also here with us, and they also supported us to continue this Sunday service. And every time they come to the temple, you help us a lot. And I think once after a person is not anymore, I mean, when a person dies, we can say so many things about, we can go ahead talking about the good about that person. But when a person is alive, we should thank to him, we should express our gratitude to him. So that's why I take this time to express my gratitude, my thanks to Venerable Kashanti, Venerable Shraddha, Stephen, Subodha, Nam, and our Venerable Ratanasara for helping to continue this Sunday service. It's because of these beautiful souls we are blessed with this Dhamma sharing, and it's our responsibility to hand over this Dhamma to the next generation. So only if we are going to practice the Dhamma, the others will follow us. So thank you so much for coming and helping us to continue to do this Sunday service, and for coming and listening to this Dhamma talk also. So with that, I would like to finish the Sunday service. Before that, I have some few announcements. We have the Vesak celebration on the 14th of May of this 14th of May, and we are gonna celebrate Vesak with a lot of food, Vietnamese food, Sri Lankan food, Mexican food, American food, and everything. Yes. So we are going to have this on the 14th of this month. Please feel free to come and join with that celebration also. And we're going to have the next Sunday service next week too, with the talk as usually. So with that, I would like to bring this service to an end. Yeah.
Just one more announcement. Since next Sunday is the beginning of the month, we're going to have our morning meditation starting at 9:30. So it runs from 9:30 to 10:30, and it is both guided and silent meditation. And so if people are willing to come in and join us for some group meditation, you're more than welcome.
Yes, thank you so much, Stephen, Subodha, for sharing that information with us. Yeah, that's it. And thank you so much. May the noble triple gem bless you. May all beings in the universe be well, happy, and peaceful. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.